On.
So in the starting, you mentioned about maintaining the cosmic balance. I think the cosmic balance is something related with physics. So kindly explain. What do you mean by that word cosmic balance when you are doing that session, cosmic balance?
Well, that comes maybe from the beliefs, because everybody, and I respect that a lot, everybody has in his own life the things that he believes in. Start speaking from a religious side or any other things, especially in a player's life. All the players are superstitious. You see goalkeepers, going, touching the post, touching the crossbars, kissing this, all the players, going into the dressing room saying, okay, first I put my left shoe, then the right shoe. All of ex-players, and the players, they have these kind of things. They stay on the line, they pray before they go onto the pitch. So then, when I was younger, and even today, I have these beliefs that, you try to do good things, do never harm people, try to do the good things, and then somehow I believe that this, how we call cosmic balance or karma or whatever, it will bring that to you the way you deserve. Okay, so that's my belief. That's why I'm always trying to pass that message to players, young players especially. I was younger and educated from my parents like that. Do never harm people, be good to the people. Every day try to make 2 good deeds, at least you will get 1 back. And these kind of beliefs I was, in that moment when I was mentioning that, I was saying like, it's a gut feeling. All my life I was making decisions depending on my gut feeling, what my gut saying to me. Many times I had options in my life to maybe get a job or make some deals where financial was way better. But I was choosing the other options because my heart or my gut was telling me opposite. And that's how I choose Köln Blasters. That's what happened. So that's what I was talking about.
So the second question is actually, we'll start right from the end of this answer. In your class, in your session, you said there are some clubs which are having unlimited budgets. Okay, if there is an option made in front of Ivan Vukomanović, you suppose I am the owner, I am the Roman Abramovich of you. Okay, suppose. So I am giving you an offer, $500 million and only 50 million. What will you choose? 2 clubs.
So what do you mean? You are the owner of one club?
I am the owner and I am giving you 2 offers. You said there are some clubs in your session, you mentioned there are some clubs with unlimited budgets.
Yes.
Okay, now I am as an owner, I have 2 clubs. And I am giving you an offer in front of you. One club is having more than $500 million budget and one club is running with less than 50 million. So what club will you choose?
Now you find yourself in a situation, what do you want in your life? So, because there are some clubs who will have an unlimited budget. But for example, in a situation when you sit maybe sometimes in your life, maybe they will not have something that you have. And very often when they ask me, what's that? I say, but we have enough things what we need. So it means if I'm happy in the place where I am, if you are happy with your contract, if you are happy with your environment, if you are happy with the conditions you have for your work, if you are happy with the conditions you have for you and your family, for your private life, if your all technical stuff, medical stuff, all the people are happy, then you find yourself in a situation, should we go for more money? And in that moment we already have money, and then you find yourself in your life, but do you need more money? Because you have already everything you need for your private life, for your family, like I said. So you feel good. Why should you change? That's not the point.
Dinesh Nair is with us, the director and founder of the AFC, and I am sure he is also having some good questions.
I've got some questions which is more code specific on the understand. So we planned it in a way that Shaiju will look at the overview. But I completely agree with you, Ivan, about karma and about cosmic, because what goes out comes back. It's a circle, it always comes back, and I completely believe, and I think it's a brilliant statement made by Ivan about having an outward look, not only me, as you said, outward, looking outward. So I think it's brilliant. My question for you is, what is the difference between like an elite professional coaching and youth coaching? Because a lot of coaches here are coaching youth, grassroots, and so what do you think is the major difference between elite professional coaching and youth coaching?
There is a great example in many European countries connected to national teams speaking about youth program. In many countries, you have the vision and the project, and they speak in the youth. That's the process where you develop players. So actually, like Coach Werner was saying, this period between, let's say, 14 and 19 years old boys, where they're still growing up, and you are concentrated on the fact that you have to develop that product, that in one moment when these boys are 18, 19 years old, you arrive with that product in front of your head coach of your senior team or your club's management, and you say, Mr. or whatever you speak to your owners, this is the product that we produce. These boys are ready for the senior level. Because the job of youth production is developing these young boys, becoming stronger, better, developed as players and human beings to respect certain things, the hierarchy and everything what goes around the professional football club. And when you develop them, so actually the most of your job is developing that product. Okay? In many countries like with us in Belgium, in many clubs, we don't care about the result in the youth. Okay? You can be the part of your best club, but we don't care if you lose one game in a small derby against or what. We don't care. The most important thing that you develop as many as possible, these young potential boys, to be ready to participate later on the big screen and big picture of a senior level. Like you mentioned just before, 0.1% of boys who are starting football trainings and everything arrive to a senior level. So that production, for example, in French national, most famous, that's training center for national team Clairefontaine, they develop and they are based, concentrate how many young boys can we develop to arrive to the level of national team of France. And then you go down a little bit, and then the clubs, they say, how many young boys can we develop to arrive to the senior level of our club? Because on the long term, I'll give you the example of my club in Belgium. One of the best clubs for developing young players. So many great big stars who are still playing for national team of Belgium. You know, so many developed players. And then on the long term, when you say, we are developing these boys, giving them playing time in the first squad, they go on a big screen, they go on a higher level, then when it happens, these big transfers, the club receives that transfer jackpot, then you on the long term financially become so rich as a club that you can continue doing that in your youth, producing product which is needed for that market. So that was what I was mentioning. We recognize that maybe for the moment on Indian level there are not too many states like Kerala who is investing that much in developing young players who later becomes great assets for the clubs, for national team, because later the clubs and national teams will be depending on them to make results. You go now around ISL or I clubs in I League, I think that there are no clubs. You will always find somebody who is coming from Kerala or who was developed in Kerala or being part of this environment. And that's very important. And we said, if the clubs accept those things and continue producing those things, you will always have financial stability, financial income, and then on one moment, on the long term, you can be able to afford any player you want, because everybody will recognize the way you work. And what happens already now that we feel that many players now on an India level saying, we would like to go to Kerala Blasters because there is something good happening, depending maybe later developing your infrastructure, and that's how you build up the nice thing that later is recognized and appreciated, and you create that you become important, more important part of Indian football.